Ukrainian light heavyweight contender Oleksandr Gvozdyk says that he would not like to fight his friend, but also his rival, Sergey Kovalev. This is, to me, problematic. But you do have situations like this in boxing where you get two guys who are friendly that don't particularly want to fight. More often than not, if the money is right, friends do fight in boxing. But just to give you an example of two friends who didn't fight and there was some mysterious circumstances surrounding it, maybe they had, maybe there was some collusion there, maybe there wasn't. But in the Super 6, Andre Dirrell was supposed to fight Andre Ward. After he got past the Abraham fight, he was then supposed to fight Ward. But mysteriously, he said he had some type of problem with his brain and he had to pull out of the tournament or drop out of the tournament. Maybe he really did have an issue with his brain. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. It was a little coincidental because it is common knowledge that Andre Ward and the Dirrell brothers are good friends. They have never come out and said they wouldn't fight each other as far as I know. Maybe you can correct me on that. But as far as I'm aware, they'd never come out and said they wouldn't fight each other. But here we've got Gvozdyk saying he would not like to fight Kovalev because he's his friend. And indeed, Gvozdyk was sparring Kovalev, I believe, in the lead up to Kovalev's fight with Andre Ward. I'm going to quote Oleksandr Gvozdyk directly here. He says, I understand, and when he says I understand, he means what Bob Arum is saying, because Bob Arum would like to see Gvozdyk fight Kovalev in the future. Anyway, Gvozdyk says, I understand. I'll say this, I would not want this fight to happen. But if this fight is needed, this is a sport and we have a very good relationship. If this fight is there and that is what is needed, then of course I'm going to box. But this is not something that I would want to happen. Those are the words of Oleksandr Gvozdyk talking about a potential future fight against his training partner and his friend, Sergey Kovalev. I like the situation between Beterbiev and Kovalev a lot better because there's animosity there. They're not friends and there's no issue in terms of stepping in the ring, at least not from a friendship perspective with Kovalev and Beterbiev. I would love to see that fight happen at some stage. Two of the most destructive punchers in the light heavyweight division. And incidentally, a common opponent of theirs, Gabriel Campillo, he actually said that Beterbiev hits even harder than Kovalev. I mean, Kovalev hits hard enough. And Campillo's trying to say that Beterbiev hits even harder. He did also say that he thinks Kovalev has got the better boxing skills out of, Kovalev and Beterbiev. But he says Beterbiev hits even harder. Man, that's crazy power. Crazy. So, yeah, I like that situation. I like that rivalry. I hope Beterbiev gets his career back on track. Where the hell has he been? Apparently he's been out with injury and he wanted to come back with some easy fights and stuff like that. No, man, I want to see this guy get back to where he was before the injury, when he was mandatory challenger for Kovalev's title at the time. Now, obviously, he's forfeited that mandatory position and now Ward's the champion. But whatever the case may be, by hook or by crook, I want to see Artur Beterbiev take on Sergey Kovalev. Make that fight happen. And if not that fight, then Artur Beterbiev versus Stevenson. They're both with the same promoter, Beterbiev and Stevenson. They're both based in Canada. They're both without Heyman. Why on earth is that fight not being proposed? They're talking about Elidier Alvarez versus Stevenson. To hell with that fight. Alvarez is a decent fighter. But come on, I want to see Beterbiev, the Wolf. Yeah, I want to see him fight everybody. Him fight, Kovalev and maybe Andre Ward. But, Ward is a technical fighter. He doesn't always make for the most exciting fights. I want to see the big punchers clash. So anyway, let me know what you think about this situation with Gvozdyk. How do you think he would do against Kovalev? I personally think that he did a lot better against Chilemba than Kovalev did. But, styles make fights. I do think he can do certain things that Kovalev can't do. But I don't think he has the power that Kovalev has. He's got good punching power, but not Kovalev level punching power. He's taller than Kovalev though. I think he's got quicker hands. And I think he's got maybe a different skill set, but a comparable level skill set to Sergey Kovalev. I was quite impressed with Gvozdyk in his last fight, particularly the improvement that I saw following that shaky performance that he had against Tommy Karpency, where he was down in the first round. Now, Kovalev himself early on in his career had a very shaky performance against Darnell Boone in the first fight where he was dropped. And I think according to Boone, he actually says that there was more than one knockdown in that fight. That Kovalev hit the canvas a few times, but only one of the knockdowns was called. Now, Darnell Boone said that he would post, I spoke to him on social media, and he said that he would post or he would upload footage of that first fight with Kovalev after the Kovalev-Ward fight. And obviously that fight has happened now. So, Mr. Boone, if you're listening, I'll try to holler at you again on social media. We need to see footage of that fight. Because that's one fight that, for whatever reason, they haven't released footage of. But yeah, that happened to Kovalev early in his career. And obviously Andre Ward was also dropped by Darnell Boone. Adonis Stevenson was knocked out by Darnell Boone. So even when you look at the other top light heavyweights, they've had blips like Gvozdyk had against Karpency. They've had blips like that and they've rebounded and become top fighters. So it's not the end of the world when Gvozdyk gets dropped like that, but it just means maybe that he's not quite as close to competing at world level as we would maybe like him to be. But the Chilemba performance was definitely a step in the right direction for me. So, yeah, how do you think he would fare against Kovalev? Maybe not now, but maybe let's say in 12 months' time, assuming he keeps winning. How do you see him and Kovalev going? Maybe him and Ward, maybe him and Stevenson. Drop it all in the comment section below, or him and Beterbiev. Yeah, drop it all below. It's your boy Hatman, I'm out.